I'm from New York and I've been living in Ireland for 8 years. And that being said, I've learned a lot about what's American, what's Irish, what Americans think is Irish, and what Irish think is American. And here are some things that are specifically Irish American. Part dough. Irish coffee. Now, unlike corned beef, Irish coffee has taken off in both America and Ireland because, let's face it, it's fucking delicious. Now, the story goes that there's a little town in Limerick called Foynes, which in the 1940s was a huge stopover point for Pan Am Airlines, which was the biggest airline in the mid-20th century. They would stop over from Europe back into America. Things like refueling, relaxing, Foynes was it. And on a rainy winter day in 1943, there was a stopover from Europe into San Francisco. But the passengers on their way out to San Fran had to come back to Foynes due to bad weather. That's when the head chef at the restaurant/cafe in the Foynes airport, Joe Sheridan, decided to cheer the passengers up a bit. It's cold, it's wet, it's rainy, you're delayed, you get it. Making a strong pot of hot coffee, he added some Irish whiskey into it and dolloped some freshly whipped cream over the top. And the newly delighted American passengers said, "Is this Brazilian coffee?" And Sheridan quipped back, "No, it's Irish coffee." Duh. Now, eventually the Americans got back home to San Francisco, where word of mouth about the Irish coffee they'd had on their stopovers started to spread. And that's when one of the passengers, who was also a travel writer, Stanton de la Plaine, Stanton of the Plain, that's really convenient. He loved it so much, he started working with a restaurateur in San Francisco to perfect the recipe. After many trials and tribulations, they finally got it right and debuted it at the Buena Vista Cafe in San Francisco. And it's been flying ever since. And I've got to say, there's nothing more satisfying after a cold, wet hike across the cliff sides of the Atlantic, or even just opening presents on Christmas morning, than a hot, fresh Irish coffee.